So I've got 600,000 subscribers on YouTube, and I made $1 million all from YouTube. And quite a few people, specifically consultants and educational content creators, ask me how I do it. And the way that I did it was using what I call the OABS, the Optimal Audience Building System. And this video, my plan is to break down what that system is and really try and condense 4 years now of creating videos and hundreds of videos into 5, 10, 15 minutes, however long it takes. So the premise of this, and the reason that you should listen to this, is because humans have desires, you have goals, and many of the goals that you want to achieve, the desires you want fulfilled, require other people. For example, if you want money, other people have to give you money. If you want status, if you want respect, if you want your work to be appreciated, if you want to be able to make a good career, making decent money, doing what you love, other people are involved. And in the modern era that we live in, the way that you build relationships with people at scale, the best way is content. So I believe that anybody who has desires that need other people to be fulfilled, for example, making money, it's worth creating content because it allows you to develop the relationships with other people that will later give you money at scale. That being said, let's get into specifically how you can go about the process of creating content in a way that's going to let you build an audience. It's going to allow you to attract and retain the attention and the trust of the people that you want to be getting in contact with. The Optimal Audience Building System. It's comprised of 2 different parts. First one, you ask yourself the question, who is it that I'm trying to attract? You need to get very, very clear on who it is that you're trying to attract. Otherwise, it's impossible for you to know where to make, and it's impossible for you to know what to make. The very first question you have to ask is, who is it that you're trying to attract? And normally the person you're trying to attract is somebody similar to you, somebody that has similar problems to you, somebody that has similar goals to you. It's easy to attract the attention of somebody that's similar to you because you know what they like, you know what they dislike, and you're able to talk to them in the same way that they talk. So you're able to meet their beliefs, meet their thoughts at the same place that they're at. You're able to actually speak with them instead of speaking to somebody that's not them, and they kind of just feel this unresonance, if that's a word. The opposite of resonance. Dissonance. Whereas if you know who you're speaking to, you're able to speak directly to them. And even though at the moment I'm speaking to the camera, I know who I'm speaking to. So I'm able to speak to you in a way that clicks with you. You understand, and it kind of feels like we're having a conversation, even though I'm just talking to a camera. So the very first step is to figure out who it is that you want to attract. The second step is to figure out where they give their attention. Now, this can be solved in 2 different ways. The first way, which is the first half of the Optimal Audience Building System, is to ask yourself the question, what platforms does your target avatar, does your niche, do the people that you want to be attracting put their attention on? YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, LinkedIn. Where is it that the people you're trying to attract give their attention? And then obviously, you want to be creating content for that platform. And in the beginning, you just want to pick one platform to go on. It's difficult to find content market fit in one platform, let alone a bunch of different platforms, because every different platform is different. So you have to create natively for that specific platform. In my early stages, I literally just focused on YouTube. I didn't have an Instagram, I didn't have a TikTok, I didn't even have a Twitter. I just focused on YouTube. And now my focus is pretty much just on Twitter and YouTube. So now, even though it's 4 years into the game, I'm still on 2 different platforms. Gary Vee recommends you go everywhere and you be everywhere, but he has a team of 30 people. So unless you're going to start out with a team of 30 people, I'd recommend you just pick one platform for you to get good at. Now you know where to make. The next question is, what do you make? And this is the secret. This is 4 years of content creation boiled down into one sentence. If you want to grow an audience, you have to satisfy an unmet desire. And when we break that down, unmet desire, what that means is low supply but high demand. Low supply, unmet, high demand, desire. If you're able to create content that people would love to see, but that nobody else is making, again, high demand, low supply, that's how you really quickly grow an audience. If you look at everybody who's grown quickly, who's grown an audience quickly, they've satisfied an unmet desire. That's at the secret of everything. It's nothing to do with tactics. It's nothing to do with strategies. It's nothing to do with retention hacks or click-through rate or anything or thumbnail or title. All of those things are little pieces of the puzzle. But at the very core, you have to realize that you're creating content and there is a niche, there's a group of people that you're trying to attract. Figure out who is creating for them, what desires are already being satisfied within that market, and what can you create that they would love to see but that nobody else is making. This is the reason why you see somebody blow up and then a bunch of other people try and copy that person and they don't grow anywhere near as quickly because the desire that led to the person blowing up is now being satisfied. It means that there's no more desire in the market for that specific kind of content. A much better approach is to say, given my understanding of the people that I want to be attracting, I believe that if I create this kind of content, you create some kind of a growth thesis, a hypothesis, then I'll get the attention of this group. So if you look at somebody like Alex Hormozy, his growth thesis was something along the lines of, given my understanding of my niche and given my understanding of my competition, I predict that if I create the most valuable content that there is, and I have nothing to sell you, and I also flex that I've got a $100 million company before, then I predict that I will have what's necessary in order to grow. Given his understanding of his competition, which is his supply, given his understanding of his niche, which is demand, he was able to find an unmet desire that he could satisfy, and that was why he grew so quickly. If you look at somebody like Mr. Beast, his growth thesis was something like, given my understanding of my niche and given my understanding of my competition, I believe that if I make the world's best videos, the world's most entertaining videos that are incredibly extreme, because I reinvest every single dollar that I make and I obsess over YouTube more than everyone else, then I'll be able to attract the attention of the people that I want to attract. He came up with some kind of a growth thesis. Given his understanding of the niche and his competition, I predict that if I do this, then I will grow. So whenever you want to create content, you have to come up with some kind of a growth thesis, a hypothesis for the style of content that if you make will satisfy an unmet desire and will lead to you growing. That's at the core. That's at the very, very heart of growing an audience. But there's a problem with this. This takes time. There's the niche here, you're creating for the platform, and you're trusting that the algorithm will find your content and put it in front of the people that will love your content, assuming that your content's actually good. And this can work, but it can take some time. In order for the algorithm to find your content and find the audience takes some time. It needs to collect data, it needs to run some experiments. So it's unpredictable, and it takes a long time to get results. So there's a second part of the optimal audience building strategy that allows you to guarantee that you get in front of the people that you're trying to attract. Instead of trusting algorithms, you can now guarantee that you get in front of their attention. And the way that you do this is by asking yourself the question, not what platform is my niche putting their attention on, but who has the attention of my niche? What YouTubers, what podcasters, what communities, what newspapers, what blogs do my niche go on? And now you have to try and reverse engineer a way for you to get in front of them. So if you discover that your niche watches 10 different YouTubers, go about the process of reaching out to those YouTubers, adding value to them, networking with them, so that eventually you can do some kind of a collaboration. Or find what communities your niche are highly densely congregated in, and just become an active member of the community. Start networking, start adding value, start replying to people's comments, start posting in there. And eventually, you'll be able to get the attention of the niche. Because if you go to a community and you make a post, you guarantee that the people that are in your niche will see that post. Just like if I go on a podcast that has a high density of the people I'm trying to attract, I know for a fact that there's a group of people that watch every single podcast, so I'm guaranteed to get the attention of those people. This is called the Dream 100 strategy. And you see people that have grown really quickly doing a combination of these two strategies. Creating their own content for the platforms and going on other people's channels, leveraging other people's communities to quickly and easily get in front of the people you're trying to attract. Using the second strategy, the Dream 100 strategy, a few months ago I wanted to start my own mastermind for synthesizers, for people that want to make a good career by solving their own problems and sharing the solutions. And the way that I filled up this mastermind, it ended up making around $100,000, was I found the community that I believed had the highest density of people that would be interested in my mastermind. I created one Loom video that was 33 minutes long that added value, shared some insights, built some authority within that niche. I put it inside of the community, and many people came up to me and asked me to join my mastermind, and my mastermind filled up and it made $100,000. One video with this Dream 100 strategy allowed me to fill up the mastermind and make $100,000. And that, on the other hand, the content strategy that I talked about first allows you to build up the audience long term. One of them short term, one of them is long term. Both of them put together are incredibly effective, and both of them combined make up the optimal audience building strategy that can allow you to grow an audience quickly. Hope you enjoyed.